Welcome to Fix It with Jeff. Today we're going to be changing out our master brake cylinder on our 2010 Chevy Express 2500 series van. So we've been experiencing a leak, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and get all that cleaned up. Now we're going to go ahead and lift the vehicle. The first thing we're going to do before we take anything apart, we're going to lift the vehicle up, get the wheels off. We're going to make sure we can open our bleeder valves, because if we can't open our bleeder valves, then we won't have a successful project here, and we'll have to get those bleeder valves off. I did buy some replacement bleeder valves just in case I gotta get them out and they strip or something. So hopefully we have a successful job here, and I hope you enjoy the video. Make sure you guys comment, like, and most of all, subscribe to my channel for more content like this and others. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we got the vehicle lifted. Now we're gonna go around and put some PB Blaster on our screws, bleeder screws. It looks like they've all have a cap on them, so we should be good in terms of their rust. I do have the rear pads and rotors for this. I am contemplating whether or not I should just go ahead, since I got the wheels off. Let's just go ahead and change them out. So let's see the front one. So the front driver bleeder screw is right here. So we should be good with that one. Let's go to the front passenger. Front passenger bleeder screw is covered. This should be good. We'll go to the rear passenger now. And the rear passenger looks good. But we're gonna go ahead and get some PB Blaster on this. They're a little flexible. Okay, so I'm saying when I change this, how hard it's gonna be. But yeah, these look quite bad. They don't have the screw to set them in, so that's good. I think we have an electronic emergency braking system on this one, so I'll have to see if we're going to have to, I don't know if you remember my video with the Cadillac, but we have to turn these rather than push the pistons in. So we'll see about that. I'm not sure. I might save this for another day. But let's go ahead and make sure we could get our bleeder screws open. Looks like an 8mm. We'll double check that, and we'll be back. So one bleeder screw I couldn't remove. So, I mean, I have to change out this master cylinder. So we're gonna go ahead and get it changed out anyways. Maybe I could take it somewhere and they can get that screw off. I got all the other bleeder screws open, no problem. But we did get all our stuff loose in here, so we're good to go here. But yeah, we got the one bleeder screw that I couldn't get off. I did buy new bleeder screws just in case, and I thought maybe I could get it off with a vice grip, but no such luck. So what I might do, just to try to get some of the air out of the systems, I might just loosen the caliper nut, see if I could bleed it that way, at least get the air out. Don't know what else I could do at this point. Let me know if you got any suggestions. So this is a double nut, so you need to get a wrench back here also to hold this side while you loosen this side. So make sure that you have two wrenches, and it is a 15mm for that. It was a 15mm for the nuts on the master cylinder, and on here it's 10mm for the bleeder valves. All right, so we can go ahead and finish taking off the master cylinder, and we'll drain all the oil out of it. Okay, so we put our new master cylinder on. We have this master cylinder brake bleeding kit. So it comes with different size fittings here, 2 hoses. So what we did is we put those in our ports down there. I don't know if you can see it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take off our reservoir cap here. We're gonna put these on there, stick them in here, Okay, make sure they go down in there all the way. Put on our next one. Probably should have put this on before I put the master cylinder on. Okay, so we got that one. We'll go ahead and put that one in. Now we'll go ahead and fill this up, and we'll pump the brakes, and we'll watch for bubbles till we get a firm pedal. Okay, so we got our master cylinder on. It was hard, I'll give you that. The only reason why is I couldn't get those threads on right, but I finally got them on right. It's nice and snug. So we're gonna go ahead and top this off with brake fluid, and then we're gonna start bleeding our brakes. We're gonna start in the passenger rear. You start from the furthest one, but also depends on where your ABS module is at. My ABS module is sitting near the front anyhow, so the same procedures will apply. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I do have one bleeder valve I couldn't open. So I couldn't open this bleeder valve. So what I'm going to attempt to do is try to bleed it through the caliper there. See if it'll work. We'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and start the bleeding process. We're going to be using a self-bleeding kit, but I'm going to get assistance to bleed that other one because you'll have to use the manual process probably to bleed that one. So we have this one-man brake bleeding kit that we're going to use. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up. We put a little bit of fluid in there, and we'll go ahead and see how this works out. Okay, so we got the new master cylinder in. Just take note, I took it all apart again. Took it off the car, and I did what's called a bench bleed. I have a bench bleed kit that I'll show you in the link here. Came with black hoses, but you want to make sure you get clear hoses so you can see bubbles coming through. So I still don't know if I got all the bubbles out, but my pedal feels a lot better. It was going all the way to the floor. And then just to note that, make sure when you're taking the master cylinder off, you got a 15 millimeter on the front, and then the back, and there's a 13 millimeter. So you'll need 2 wrenches when taking off the master cylinder for this car. And then just make sure you tighten up your fittings really good. I had a metal or aluminum like cooking pan underneath here while I did it, because you're limited on time. You got to get those connectors on quick so the fluid don't leak out, because when I first put it back on, it was leaking and I didn't have no brake pressure. I bled the brakes so many times and wasn't working, but finally I was able to get these retightened up. I took it off, I re-bled the master cylinder on the bench, and pumped as much air as I could out of it, and then re-bled the brakes again, and it feels good. But now what we're having an experience I noticed when I was bleeding the brakes, and I got to check the front, but I noticed this one, the caliper wasn't compressing. So we did end up having to change the caliper. We had a sticking caliper, so the caliper on the passenger side ended up having to get changed. Both the rear brakes today, and get that done. So stay tuned while we get the car lifted up, chuck off the front wheels. Also think that might be my rubbing problem, so we're going to test that before we get the wheels off. So we'll lift it up and spin these wheels and see if we can figure out if that's where our rubbing's coming from. So it could be both of them are making noise. It's kind of hard for me to do this to show you, but when I spin it, I do hear the pads rubbing against the rotor. So I don't know if that's the case in the front, but we're gonna go ahead and lift the front up and see if that's the case in the front too. Maybe this side's a little easier. So if you hear, it is rubbing. Don't know if that, as I increase speed, if that's what's causing the noise that I'm hearing, but go ahead, get those off. But let's put it back down. We'll lift up the front, see what kind of sounds we get from the front. Now, so I spin the fronts. Now, I don't know if you see my videos, but I did recently change these. And there is no, I don't hear any sound. It is kind of stopping fast, but I don't know if that's just because the tire's so heavy. But there is no noise coming from the front. And really in the front of this particular vehicle, there's no axle or anything. All it is the wheel hub and the rotors. Now the only other thing that could possibly be making any kind of noise would be the tires, but we do have that rubbing noise going on in the back. So we're gonna go ahead and get the brakes changed in the back, see if that could be our issue with the rubbing noise, and we'll go from there. But yeah, the front is quiet, at least from what I can see here. So we don't have any issues with the front. So we'll go ahead and start working on the back. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this caliper off. I'm noticing something right here. Not sure if maybe that's heat that's doing this or what's going on. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think that is. Let's check the inside of the wheel. See if there's any possible rubbing going on. I don't see, only see this, but that might be from when I took it off. Really don't see anything. So it might be heat because this is locked up. So hopefully we could get it freed. I think we have a 15. I think they're both 15, so let's see what we got. Okay, so we have a 17 for the caliper guide, and we have a 18 for the caliper bracket. So we'll go ahead and put some penetrating oil on this and get this taken off. All right, so I got the new rotor on. Cleaned up the caliper, compressed it. So make sure you get a C-clamp, use an old brake pad, compress it. I took this off, the emergency brake is in there. I cleaned all this up on the inside here. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting back in the guide pins. I'm cleaning them up. I cleaned up the bracket here too. So I'm cleaning up the guide pins and I'm re-greasing it so that way they slide in and out easily. This one is already greased. So I got that one greased already. I'm about to clean that one up and reinsert that one. And then we'll get the caliper bracket back on. And then we'll get the pads in. We also got the clips. Did get new clips with the new pads. So we'll get those put in. And then we'll grease those up. So that the way the pads slide back and forth nice and easy. There's still a rubbing noise. I gotta see what happens when I drive, if that rubbing noise is there, but when I took this off, the emergency brake pad is there, so it's like, no, something's in there or it's in the gear. Maybe I need to grease up the gear. So we'll see if that's the case here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and finish this side and then we'll do the other side. All right, so we got our other side done now. We had to go get a new caliper bracket. Reason being, one of the guide pins got seized in there, so we went and picked up a new caliper bracket and new guide pins as well, and new boots for this side. The other side was fine. It's just that this wheel got really tight. I just hope that that's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get cleaned up and get the wheels back on and test it out and see how well it works now. So stay tuned for the final part. Okay, so we finished our brakes and good, the wheels are not stuck. That was one thing I was worried about. I couldn't turn the wheels, but man, my pedals feels really good. I think that was the issue. Number one, that one wasn't moving, so we greased up the caliper guides, and this one had a seized caliper guide, so that probably was a lot of my problems that I was having. But now the brakes, they feel real good. Yeah. Now let's see if our sound went away. sound. So it seems like we don't have that rubbing noise anymore. No other noises. And when I press the brake, the wheels don't turn. So that's a good sign. Kind of still do hear the rubbing sound. It's not as bad as what it was. But other than that, we got pretty much our brake system back in full. I barely got to touch the pedal, which is good. So we'll call this job done. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was informative. And make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time, fix it with Jeff.